Wait, I've thought of something. Why don't we rent a video tonight?
Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.
Guys, it's so much fun, Chan. Get it?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Like, it starts off with, like, him going to school. He just runs into wannabe cholos. Like, I don't know what Max did to them. He reminds me a lot of, like, if you've ever seen Last Action Hero, like, him and Danny. They're very similar. Like, they just don't like going to school. Danny hangs out in a movie theater. Max just kind of, like...
hangs out in empty warehouses.
Yeah, empty warehouses. Yeah. So he gets chased there by this group of kids. That's when, you know, he finds the boombox. And lo and behold, it's Shaq, you know, playing Kazaam.
Well, first Shaq is in a lamp before they are like, no, you're a black genie, so you have to go in the boombox now.
Disney's like,
that's so weird.
How can we make this relatable to the African American culture? Oh, I got an idea. Let's put Shaq in a boombox. Like,
I feel like that was probably like Shaq's idea because like watching this movie, I get the impression, and it makes a lot of sense, that Shaq just really wanted to be a rapper. You know?
Didn't he have a rap album? I know, like. In the 90s, a lot of NBA players had rap albums.
I feel like he had like a small rap career when he was younger. And I mean, I don't even know if he was on the Lakers when he made this. If he wasn't, I mean, it's got to be earlier in his career because I feel like Kazaam was like a 90s movie, right?
Yeah, for sure. He was probably in the Orlando Magic, the height of his popularity.
I definitely could have seen like when they were pitching this movie to him. They're like, oh, yeah, you'll be a genie and, you know, all this shit. And he was just probably like, man, that doesn't really sound that great. And they're like, but... you're a rapping genie. And he's like, shit. He's like, I'm in. Throughout the whole movie, him rhyming and, you know, put on the concert and all that.
Love interest in Kazaam for Shaq is the same love interest that was in First Kid for Sinbad, which I thought was crazy. When I watched this, I was like, wow, this woman looks super familiar.
I mean, that's definitely an upgrade to move on from fucking a secret agent to getting some genie dick, so...
Yeah, man, yeah. She's fucking everybody. I mean, she's like, oh, I've had enough of Sims. Yeah, I'm moving on. You know, a lot of people think that Sinbad played Kazaam.
Shazam. Yeah, it's one of those fucking, what is that called, Mandela Effect, where there's supposed to be a movie called Shazam where he's a genie.
And so Max, his real dad isn't around. Like, you find out that like his mom in love with this dude who's like a fireman. And the shitty part is like Max is mad that his mom is marrying this dude who actually has a good job and like takes care of him, and he'd rather see his dad, who is like a low-key drug dealer who like sells like bootleg mixtapes of like performances and shit. Like, there's a part where he goes to get in the car too with his dad, and like his dad doesn't like tell him to get out of the car, and his mom's like,
get out of the car. Nick, what the hell do you think you're doing?
This is between me and my boy.
Your boy? You haven't seen him in over a decade. You have no right here.
This has nothing to do with you.
Max, go back to Travis. Max, no.
Max is all like, just go back to Travis. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, the mom doesn't call the cops or anything. She just lets his dad drive off with him. That, you know, they haven't seen each other in like, I don't know, like since he was a kid. So like 10 years?
I think he said almost like 15 years or some shit, because he was like, you've never been around. And I just find it so hilarious that this kid who's like never met his dad obviously left because he's a fucking deadbeat, and he just finds him one day and he's like, I'm going to go run off with my dad who left me because he didn't want anything to deal with me, and basically tell his mom, fuck you, to her face, and go back to her, you know, her supporting boyfriend who's trying to take care of all of them. And he wants to go hang out with his dad, like you said, who's a fucking lowlife, who's like about to get killed.
Yeah, can we also talk about too how like Max's wishes are like the wackest wishes ever? Like
his first wish, junk food to the sky.
He just it was like I was just like not only is this dude a terrible son, he's a terrible wisher. Like he's just not good at making wishes. He could have
like got money.
Let's back up a second. So Kazaam, you know, the guy, he follows Max to the club, you know, where his dad works, and he gets on stage and performs, and like, you know, the owner of the club, who is like the most stereotypical like Egyptian dude they could find for this role, and you know, of course he's like, I think there's a genie here. It's just like something.
Yeah, when the fucking gold falls on the table, he's like, that's Pharaoh's gold, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Of course they got, like you said, some like the most stereotypical Middle Eastern guy who's like pulling up to the club in a white BMW, and he's hanging out with like gold chains on his neck, and he's just like having a good time, and then he's just like, oh yeah, there's a genie around, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
So Kazaam does this performance at the nightclub where his dad works at, and they make a mixtape that they're trying to sell worldwide. Like, it's like some secret underground organization they have, like, where they make tons of money off mixtapes and shit like that. So the bullies from the beginning of the movie, I don't know if Max owes them money or something, but they follow him. He convinces them that he could pay them back or something by having them follow him to the club. And then, like, these group of, like, 12-year-olds, they, like, beat up his dad and the sound engineer guy and just take the tape. And it's just like, how does this even happen? Not to mention that one of the kids in the gang is fucking Wade Robinson, which is hilarious. Like, I totally forgot he was, like, a kid in this movie. The Egyptian guy who owns the club, he's like, how could you let this happen? You get, like, they were 12-year-olds or something like that. And I'm just like, yeah, it's a little unbelievable. But, yeah, Max uses his second wish to get this tape back for his dad, so that his dad will love him again. He gets the tape back, and his dad's like, cool, thanks, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
like, pretty much
leave.
Just like, there's like a scene where his dad is like, he's about to like beat this dude up because he lost the tape, and Max is just like, I brought you the tape, and he's like, how do you have it, Yeah, the whole situation with his dad and like working at this nightclub, like, it's almost like they're running like underground, like, LimeWire before LimeWire was a thing, where they were just like bootlegging songs to sell to other people. Like, it was really weird. Albums.
I was like, what, DeBrat is randomly in this movie?
DeBrat was like, in it. Yeah. I love too the scene when like he first meets his dad, and his dad's like in this huge room, and like they're about to like start their coke party, and he like walks in, he's like, who's this fucking kid? Get him out of here. He's like, it's me, Max. He's like, Max who? And he's like, Maxwell. And he's like, I don't know no fucking Maxwell. And then, like, I forget what he does. And he goes, that's Max. Max,
he just
my
says
boy.
His last name, yeah. He's like, I'm Max,
that's
Maxwell
right.
Connor or whatever the fuck. I think it's Connor.
Yeah, he's like, Connor?
And he's like, oh.
John Connor?
Yeah.
Turns out he was a Terminator the whole time. But he just is like, it's like he has a fucking moment where he goes, oh, man. Is this the kid I abandoned 15 years ago?
Yeah,
oh, shit, it is.
He's like, bring in the pizzas.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like, where's the fucking pizzas? And he's like, everybody, this is my son, Max. And I'm surprised no one's like, you have a son? You've never mentioned him before. They're just like, oh, cool. Like, well, it's nice to meet your son. Like, it's so fucking weird. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, if you didn't talk about your son for like 15 years because you're just trying to forget that he existed, like a great dad he is, and then your son just randomly shows up to your work and everyone's like, you have a, like, they're not fucking surprised that he has a son or anything. They're just like, cool.
Don't let this fucking small child stop us from doing coke off strippers' tits and, like, having a great time and making fake DeBrat albums. Like,
the brat is in the building.
Yeah.
DeBrat.
Pretty much. We totally forgot to talk about one of the best parts of the movie, though, where, like, Shaq basically asks Max, like, oh, I bet you can't rhyme better than me. And then he's like, my name's Max. I got these facts. Da-da-da, and then it, goes into one of the best songs in Disney history, We Genie.
Shaq is kind of like following him around the entire time. And at first, when he is, I'm like, this looks kind of weird. And I'm like, also, how the fuck is no one noticing this dude?
Yeah, like, I was like, how is
he's fucking 7 feet tall, and he's dressed like a goddamn genie in New York City. Like,
and no one's questioning why he's harassing this kid. Like, because he's like, make a wish now, make a wish. Like, and he's just following him around, harassing him. And he's like teleporting all over the street.
When he wakes up and he's in his bed, and I'm like, all right, this isn't fucking weird. And then, like, he comes out and they're like having breakfast, and his mom's like, oh, who's this? And he just like makes something up, and his mom's just like, oh, okay. Yeah, and I'm like, oh. Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like, you just believe that shit? That's probably why your fucking husband left you 15 years ago, because you got a stupid fucking brain and a stupid-ass kid.
And they gave Shaq $7 million to act in this movie.
I think it'd be great if they did a Kazaam sequel and they brought Shaq back, and then he has to face off against a rival genie, and the rival genie is Yao Ming.
Okay. That's so stupid. He uses his third wish, right? And then the Egyptian guy's like, fuck you, Max. And he just like pushes him down. He pushes a 12-year-old kid down an elevator shaft, and Max dies. But then like Shaq somehow brings him back to life. I'm like, this is ridiculous. That kid is dead. Like, he's not getting up. Like, he fell like 10 stories or something like that. Like, I know he's a genie, but I was just like, dude, this is like ridiculous. I can't
How
believe.
did he go splat at the bottom?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, not only did he fucking fall down the elevator shaft, but then the building burns down, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they find him like underneath everything.
Yeah.
What's his name? Travis? And I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I bet you like your stepdad now.
Yeah, you punk bitch. You saved your life.
They're in the limousine where, like, you know, he's trying to convince Kazaam to come perform. And he's like, I've got Egyptian goat eyes. You want some? And he's like, oh, my favorite. How did you know? And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
I don't know, man. Disney has a great history of over stereotyping fucking characters based on their race, you know.
Yeah, no, I definitely
they
I
definitely did
felt
that shit in this movie,
dude.
for
So
sure.
like, yeah, when like the lamp's broken, they pitched it like, all right, Shaq, the lamp's gonna break, and instead of having a lamp and being like a traditional genie, you're gonna come out of a boombox.
It would have been great too if they're like, you're not gonna grant wishes. You're gonna come out of the lamp with an AK-47 and kill people.
Okay. What? All right.
No, he's just like dunking on
That's
everybody.
Real gangster. Yeah.
I almost wish that Max's mom didn't have like a boyfriend or anything, because I'm sure like Shaq would have probably fucked her, and then he'd be like, I am your dad.
I am the dad.
Nick, if you had a genie and you had 3 wishes, would you had wished for your real dad to be a better dad, or would you have used it on junk food like Max?
I probably would have used a wish on pizza because I fucking love pizza, like as a kid too. Like, I probably would have made like a dumbass wish, but no, I would have wished probably for money, and then like just like gone to an island or somewhere. Like, I would probably wish dinosaurs were real or something. Like,
No, your ass would have wished to have been a fucking Ninja Turtle or Pet Detective.
I probably would have. I would have wished to be a Ninja Turtle, or to know the Ninja Turtles, or make them real. Like, there would have been a trash wish in there for sure. Like, I would have wished for money because I grew up really poor, like, with my birth family. Like,
A part of me really wishes that this would have happened, and so, because you grew up living with your aunt, like, you get a genie and you make these 3 wishes, and I just, like, imagine your aunt being like, you don't wish you had parents? Like, you're like, huh?
I mean, she probably would have, and because I would have, like, burned through 3 wishes fast and not even done that. She'd be like, what, you wouldn't have wished for that? And, like, I mean, because even though I was a kid at the time, like, I already knew my birth dad was trash. So, like, there's, like, no saving him. I was, like, I had no desire to, like, go find him at a fucking some nightclub, coke party. And, you know, it was...
My question is, though, who do you think your genie would have been if you had a genie? And it could be, like, famous. It could be someone who's even, like, dead. Who do you think your genie would have been?
Oh, man. That's a tough one. Fuck.
Darsh, do you have like a guess for him, or?
I mean, I feel like I grew up watching like wrestling and Ninja Turtles or something like that. So like, if my genie would have been like probably a wrestler, like Hulk Hogan or something. Like, but
would your genie been Iron Sheik?
Yeah, and he would have just been like, you can wish for anything, but not that jabroni fuck Hulk Hogan.
I just meant
is a type of movie that Hulk Hogan would have done if they didn't use Shaq.
Nick's
sure.
like Nick tells Hulk Hogan, he's like, yeah, I want my dad back. And Hulk Hogan's like, best I can do is vitamins, brother. Here you go.
Yeah. Instead of making wishes, you better say your prayers.
He's like, oh, I want my dad back. He's like, that's fine as long as he's not one of them dark skinned dudes, brother.
All right, dude.
I look to a bird and he says to me, and when the magic is over,